Has NASA found a copy of the Ten Commandments on Mars as alleged in this compilation video report from Courageous Nerdsy? According to the videographer, the stunning news you'll hear in this video may soon be used to bring in Project Bluebeam and a false flag alien invasion. According to part of this video from the David Pickman Show, Mars rover has made a discovery that is one for the history books, yet NASA is not telling us what it's all about. However, what they are telling us is this one's going to change everything. Has NASA's Mars rover found a message from God on Mars? Video and info below, published by videographer on August 14, 2013. See all links below. Here comes the worldwide deception that NASA is about to announce to the world. To begin, Project Bluebeam Jesus on Mars is a book that came out in 1979. It describes an unmanned robotic scientific probe exactly like NASA's Curiosity rover was sent to Mars to explore rocks, but when it lands it verifies an enormous alien ship on Mars. Fast forward to August 2013, where NASA is about to announce a time-changing discovery by the end of this year. Here is the second scientist from NASA saying they found a message from God on Mars. And supposedly the message they found is a copy of the Ten Commandments. Here are some of the quotes from what they are saying. NASA announced that its Curiosity rover has found an unambiguous message from God written on tablets in a Martian cave. According to an official press release, 2 giant stone slabs the size of small elephants were located deep inside a cavern abutting Yellowstone, a large mountain. Upon one tablet is a copy of the Ten Commandments and the text of John 3:16 written in 12 languages including English, Spanish, Chinese, Basque and Hebrew. On the other tablet is a simple message in English reading, "I am real." According to top scientists who have studied the discovery extensively, these findings may have definitively established Christianity as the one true religion. "This is amazing," says Sims Covington, an Australian researcher working for NASA's Mars exploration program, as well as John Grotzinger, who is the rover mission's principal investigator. They are saying, "We went into the cave looking for water, and we found proof of God's existence instead. I mean, how else did those tablets get there? I can tell you one thing, there's not a single atheist inside NASA's control room now." What we saw was jaw-dropping. NASA and the Vatican join up and prepare to announce the biggest lie in human history.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is August 26, 2013, and here are your news updates for today. Uh-oh, what is that going on? Hold on a minute, stand by. I don't know what I'm hearing, but things are going nutty. What am I hearing? What is that? There we go. Here, let me get rid of that. What's going on? Nothing but craziness. Okay. The Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. New volcanic vent discovered close to airport in Rome, Italy. That's the news for the Extinction Protocol. The Watchers watching the world. Israel bans fluoridation of drinking water. Also, Comet I-Sound to fly by Mars on October 1st and meet the Sun on November 28, 2013. Okay, let's go to the E&E News, Energy News. Japan Times, extreme contamination in Fukushima reactor building, most likely mixing into aquifer, reveals TEPCO Bloomberg. Could this flow downstream to Tokyo and present a big risk? Also, water with nuclear fuel coming up from ocean floor off Fukushima coast? Tokyo professor. 156 quadrillion becquerels of cesium, 137 once in basements. Double Chernobyl, getting close to total fallout from every atomic bomb test in history. Maybe output from seeps in seafloor? I don't know. Also, nuclear engineer, estimated 276 quadrillion becquerels of cesium-137 enter Fukushima's basements. Triple Chernobyl total release. A portion has already made its way to the aquifer, whence it can easily flow into sea. Experts. Fukushima leaks much worse than authorities will admit. Disturbing questions confront Japan as leader visits Middle East to push nuclear. Why are you going to push more of this? Do you understand this is quadrillions are coming out of that facility, becquerels, just in the cesium alone. How many more nuclear facilities are there in the world? We're just talking one facility that is already in a big, devastating, catastrophic effect in the world, you know? So why would you want to make more of those? In fact, turn them off. TV. The Japanese are part of a massive non-consensual experiment on radiation exposure. Everywhere now is radioactive. We can't escape it, say Fukushima locals at beach. Also today, local government official in Fukushima. One day the world will sue Japan for this. No, I don't think they're just going to be sued. I think a lot of people are going to a special prison, the ones that do survive. No, you're not just going to take the taxpayers' money. They're not suing the government for the taxpayers' money from the people over there. No, there's probably better plans for those people. Oh yeah, better plans for you guys over there. Alrighty then, U.S. Canada, nothing new. Alaska newspaper, concerned Fukushima nuclear waste is tainting our salmon. Worried about impact on humans. Scientists urged to conduct tests. Alrighty then. This is the second time I'm trying to do this report. Alrighty then. Let me lower all this so I can see where we're at. Stay tuned. I'm attaching things. It is 4 days down. I'm sorry. God, I'm reversing everything. It's 1 day down, 4 to go before the weekend. I'm sorry. That was a little bit of dyslexia there, huh? 1 day down. Hang in there. Only 4 to go before the weekend. I'll see you again tomorrow on the flip side. Stay tuned. I'm attaching things. And if it doesn't upload, then what I'll probably try to do is just put everything public so you can get some of the stuff I wanted you to see. Alright, take care. And be safe. What if? Be ready for it. Alright, just be ready. Take care.
Burps. Just after that began, the monster sinkhole sucked more trees down into its insatiable gut, all caught on a video directly below that is now going viral with over 3 million views at the time of this writing, thanks to local Bayou Corn People's official, John Boudreau. Before its news covered the video story here. Even mainstream news picked up the sinkhole tree tumbling video story. CNN shows the whole video online. NY Post covered it under the title, Terrifying Louisiana Sinkhole Swallows Up Entire Trees in Seconds. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution covered it. The Boston Herald covered it, with locally famous songwriter Mona Dugas' song their story. The State's Advocate and the New Orleans Times-Picayune both covered it. Since this ongoing burp began, seismic activity has remained extra heavy in the area and at least one helicorder, in the most active area being monitored, was out of commission Thursday. It's time to call in the feds, the Corps, the EPA, OSHA, said one outraged Bayou Corn resident, Mike Schaff, in an email sent to Dubber Friday. It's time to shut down production at this facility. The sinkhole disaster escalation this week heightened to a Code 3 alert that required temporarily pulling workers off the job there, due to escalated instability and accompanying unprecedented explosion dangers. This has more than one local even more outraged than they've been for over a year amid the covered-up disaster. We might want to ask the Governor Bobby Jindal if he's waiting for someone to get killed on the job site, before he shuts down production and just leaves emergency personnel there to deal with this, another Bayou Corn resident said in a separate email sent to Dupree. It's time to remove It's time to shut down production at this facility. It's time to remove all personnel out of harm's way, leaving only necessary emergency workers. Dallas-based Crosstex Energy LP began shifting flammable liquid butane from one underground storage cavern to another one in the crippled salt dome on Tuesday, moving it 1,000 feet further from a large sinkhole in northern Assumption Parish, company officials said. Residents have been fed up with Louisiana's second major disaster and the state's response for over a year. Now, Crosstex has 940,000 barrels of its flammable butane in one of its storage caverns in the Salt Dome, near the 24-acre, 750 feet deep, ever-expanding. The butane moved in the collapsing Salt Dome, rather than removing it and halting operations, is adding more than insult to injury, according to locals. Meanwhile, Houston-based oil and gas service company Texas Brine LLC takes the heat for the disaster, according to officials. It is also calling the shots regarding resolving the sinkhole destruction, according to locals. As in the 2010 Deepwater Horizon disaster that initially killed 11 men on that rig off Louisiana's coast, with BP placed in charge of cleaning up the mess, the failing sinkhole cavern operator blamed for the state-permitted cavern that is collapsing and causing further scandal. Texas Brine has been placed in charge of Louisiana's sinkhole disaster. It's time to stop wasting money and time, Schaff said. It's time to take Texas Brine out of the driver's seat and demote them from their lofty position as project manager to mere check signers. Governor Jindal, workers are in harm's way. Despite some 300 local residents subjected to the life of energy refugees, the constant threat of methane and other gas explosions, and ongoing man-made quakes numbering in the thousands in the area, Crosstex has also been permitted by Louisiana's Department of Natural Resources, and ultimately, Governor Bobby Jindal, to continue profitably piping its butane in and out of the troubled 1 mile by 3 mile Salt Dome. The cavern, where the butane is to be moved, called well number 3, is 2,500 feet from the sinkhole, according to Crosstex spokesperson Jill McMillan, contradicting the 1,000 feet move explained by local parish officials. The company's second cavern can hold 1.7 million barrels and held propane earlier this year, according to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. We need Corporation of Engineers to shore up the levees and start filling the sinkhole with dredge sand, while well services to plug off the gas at the source, USGS to bring in their technology to map the aquifer's topography, and last but not least, experts in separating water, methane and H2 gas from the aquifer, Schaff told Rachel Wolf at WDSU radio station this week. Over a year ago, residents' reports to officials about earthquakes and methane bubbles percolating in the nearby bayous in May 2012 were seemingly dismissed. On August 3, 2012, a 400-feet sinkhole was also reported. Governor Bobby Jindal then declared a state of emergency and mandatory evacuation, but stayed clear of the disaster, making only one appearance there, to visit resident energy refugees since the disaster's onset. It's time to evacuate them, drain the 2 huge brine holding tanks on site to avoid another disaster, and call in the feds with their abundant resources, Schaff said. Are we nuts? In an email, he wrote, it's over a damn year, still no clue how to resolve? Still waiting on test results? Are we nuts? Shifting massive amounts of materials in the vulnerable, crippled, volatile, potentially explosive sinkhole area is testing fate. For example, shifting sand, drilling, moving massive amounts of butane, shifts an equally massive amount of weight in an already failing environment. There is still no test result showing the real origin of the oil spewing out of the sinkhole. It is not impossible for the entire disaster to have been triggered by BP's 2010 Gulf catastrophe. One geographer predicted that the BP Gulf disaster could trigger inland sinkholes. Another geographer warned Louisiana state officials that Gulf seismic fault lines